All right.
Whoa.
So you made me curious because I don't know, off your hand it looked like it was going to 10-pin. So I want to figure out, for the viewers, how exactly did that 10-pin? And how are we going to correct it?
Well, I mean, this isn't one of those problems where there's necessarily one answer.
Okay.
You know, I mean, there's a couple different ways. Obviously, you know, correct answer could be change balls.
Okay, but what left it? Why'd we leave it?
Why'd we leave it? My ball got too far down the lane.
Okay.
So when I saw that and I was watching it go down the lane, it didn't necessarily start up as early as what I would like to see it. So when it started actually making its move and finish what, you know, we call procession, it didn't finish.
Right.
So it was still trying to finish as it went through the pins, and that's why we're at 10.
Okay. So the ball got too far down the lane, so that just means what? We just got to get it to roll a little bit earlier?
Sure.
Okay,
yeah.
So how do we do that?
There's a couple different ways. It's really dependent on the bowler. I could increase my rev rate. By increasing the rev rate, it makes the ball see friction a little bit sooner.
Okay.
So that can do it. I can do it by throwing it a little slower. I could move right into some more friction, which is going to make it slow down a little bit sooner.
Okay.
So yeah, a couple different options
Now,
here.
would you ever change balls?
It really depends on how that's happening with the bowling ball and what stage of the transition I'm in.
Okay.
With a bowling ball like this, I'm throwing an attention star right now. I'm not going to sit here and say that ball's too slow. That's extremely unlikely right now. It definitely didn't roll out in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so hold on. Before you go any further, you did say a key word there that a lot of people like to use, which is the rollout thing.
Extremely.
They like to say that their ball rolled out and that it was super flat. Now, explain what they might mean by rollout and if there is an example of rolling out.
Yeah, so what a lot of people mean by rolling out is it's kind of a vague term that a lot of people use when they see the ball plaque 10.
Right.
And by plaque 10, we mean like when the 6-pin just kind of lays there in the gutter and it just doesn't do anything. We call that a plaque 10. And a lot of people really want to think a lot of times that they're like, my ball plaque 10. And there's so many times I'm at tournaments where we're bowling on, 30-some mils of oil, and it's like, man, I'm not going to watch anybody's bowling ball roll out all day.
Right.
Let alone once.
Right.
So it's such an overused term when that's not actually what's happening on the lane.
Yeah. I mean, the only time you would ever actually see maybe roll out is when the lanes are completely trashed and your ball is starting to hook so soon that it loses rotation too fast, and then it's literally rolling forward the rest of the way. And it might hit the pocket and leave like a 5-10 or just a 10-pin, something like that.
I mean, I can show an example. We have enough friction on the lanes here to make the
go
ball
ahead.
roll out.
Show them.
Yeah, like if I wanted to do that.
Yep.
So, I mean, if we just get over here, this is a relatively quick bowling ball with the attention star. If I just get in this friction, like that ball rolled out.
Yeah.
And by rolled out, again, I'm using a word might not necessarily hear a lot, procession, but that ball at 30 feet wasn't continuing to do anything. That ball hooked and stopped.
Now, what's another thing that can make a ball look like that? Would it be the surface of the ball? If it has too much surface, it's creating too much friction?
Absolutely.
Okay, so too much friction can
Too
make
much
the ball
friction,
roll
too
forward
early.
too quick.
Yep, especially when you're using like the bigger, slow bowling balls. A lot of times people want to talk about the ball rolling out with urethane. A lot of times I hear people say that, they're like, my ball's rolling out with urethane. Well, it's not. A lot of times what happens is that urethane shines up, and then as it shines up, it doesn't slow down in the front part of the lane enough. Now there's a bunch of oil down lane from people throwing urethane, and the ball can't hook soon enough and can't finish.
Right.
So that's why you start plaque 10ing, but that's also why when people try to make adjustments with urethane, they start going high every shot. It's because the ball's not rolling out. It's just now you're getting it to hook.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah, when we see these things, there's a couple different factors, but there's also some really just common moves. With that 10-pin I just left, I don't look at that and I'm thinking my ball motion's so far from striking, it's a big deal.
Okay, so show me and explain to me exactly what you're going to do different to make this ball get the corner out.
So for me, after that one, I'm not going to move my feet. My feet are going to stay in the exact same spot. I don't have to make an adjustment, and I'm just going to try and get a little softer.
Softer speed.
Yep. Just like that.
I'd say that was a pretty good example.
Yeah.
of what we're looking for.
And you can kind of tell, like, that one didn't quite project as far right, but that slower ball speed is going to make the ball hook earlier on the lane, which means it's not going to project as far to the right. But because of that, now it does the right thing at the pins.
Right. So that's pretty cool.
And that's just a simple, obviously we're just bowling on a house shot here, nothing crazy. But like these are the types of moves that you're going to make a lot of the time. It's not it's not a ball change. It's not a big thing. It's just little.
It could be a ball change, but most times it is just simply making a minor change with your speed, your roll, whatever it may be,
Sure.
to get the ball to hook sooner. What most people don't realize, they see that and they think their ball's rolling out, when in fact their ball's not hooking enough most times.
Correct.
Most times their ball is getting too far down the lane, which is making those corner pins stand, the swish 7, the wrap 10, the half 10, the flat 10, whatever you want to call it. It's getting too far down the lane. You actually need your ball to hook sooner, not hook more down lane. A lot of people make the mistake, the amateur bowlers make the mistake of, oh, I'm leaving a bunch of corner pins, I need to grab a quicker, stronger down lane ball, which is going to make the ball do the opposite of what you want. That's going to make it even further and even more responsive, which is just going to leave you even more corner pins and make it more unpredictable and leave the possibility of big four, Greek church, all the splits.
Yep.
So we have the option of just slowing down, changing our hand, making the ball do just something slightly different to make it a little bit earlier to get the corners out. Cody,
And
thank
the
you for
reason,
the example.
that's why we give you a couple of examples. You know, at our level, we preach that speed control is one of the most important things. You have to be good at doing it. So for me, I feel more comfortable being able to manipulate my speed by a little bit. So that's the choice I make. And that might not always necessarily be the best choice, but it's the one that I'm the best at. So a lot of these things that you're trying to do or make adjustments with, it's coming down to what you're the best at doing.
Right.
So some guys I know are really good at getting their rev rate up, so they like to do that. Some guys are good at manipulating their ball roll in a certain way, so they make those adjustments. So it's just learning what's best for you and learning your equipment and understanding what the best decision is at the time.
Yeah, it's not always a move with your feet. It's not always a move with your eyes. Sometimes it's just a minor adjustment. So just keep that in mind.
Sure. And with that move there where I got a little softer, there's plenty of times where if I feel like I'm gearing down enough, I'll make a 1-board move left or a 2-board move left. Just depends on how drastic of a change I think I'm making.
Right.
So
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all we got for you. Just kind of wanted to show you, give you an example of a 10-pin turned into a strike. So we're out of here. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.